We're talking about effective prayer. Make your prayer more effective. A man said to me he was swindled of $15,000. He said, how can I get it back? The man dropped dead. The man was penniless. The man who dropped dead was penniless. Here's a simple law of mind. You cannot gain or lose except through the mind. All transactions take place in the mind. If I admit I have lost it, I have. But a man who knows the laws of mind, he says, I am mentally and spiritually identified with that $15,000, and it comes back to me in divine order. Then it will come back in some other way. A relative of his passed on a month later and bequeathed to him $20,000. You see, when you say it comes back to me in divine order, your subconscious mind always magnifies whatever you deposit in it. Never admit a loss. Rawson, the famous English scientist, had a student who was a very wonderful psychic. She had a dream one night. She saw an airplane on fire. There were two men in it. They were burned to a crisp. She knew the time. She knew the location. She asked a neighbor to accompany her to the particular area, and they both decided to pray scientifically. In other words, it doesn't have to happen. Nothing is foreordained. Nothing is predestined. They both pray this way. This plane which I saw is God's idea. It's moving from point to point, freely, joyously, and lovingly. It's surrounded by the sacred circle of God's eternal love. The whole armor of God surrounds the plane and those in the plane. It is God in action. They remained quietly contemplating these truths for 15 minutes or so. The plane came overhead just as they saw it, just as she saw it in her dream. It was on fire. The men, the two men in it, when they reached the ground, when the plane reached the ground, were not touched. Not a hair of their head was singed. This is the power of prayer. She did not succeed 100%, but she succeeded 95%. She did not prevent the plane from catching on fire, but she protected the lives of the two men. Now, the woman whom she asked to accompany her, her brother was on that plane. Both men said they knew they were immortal when the plane was on fire. There are certain states of mind where fire does not burn and poisons do not kill. It's true that fire burns, but at higher levels of consciousness, fire does not burn. I have seen people walking on red-hot coals of fire,